everybody, how's it going? Welcome to SMG Viewers Comments, episode number 230. This is my weekly show where I try and help you out with recording and mixing questions to the best of my ability. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'm more than happy to pass on what I've learned. If you want to get a question answered, ask below, and if I think it'll help not only you, but other people watching the show as well, I'd be more than happy to answer it. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Hey Glenn, what advice do you have for absolute beginners when it comes to recording? I've been playing drums for 10 plus years now and would love to get into the recording mixing side of things. I have at least a general understanding of what things are, but nothing more than that. Any advice would be much appreciated. Oh, and most importantly, fuck you, Glenn.
First thing I'd recommend is check out some of my tutorials. How to record heavy guitar, how to record heavy drums, how to record heavy bass. They cover a lot of the basics and are a good jumping off point to get you started so you can start experimenting with mic techniques and figuring out what's gonna work in your situation. I would definitely recommend getting a budget together, probably anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, so you can buy some reasonably decent recording equipment and won't be held back. You know, I was talking with Trey Xavier over at Gear Gods the other day, and he had a great point. It's like, buy nice or buy twice. And I think that's really true, especially when it comes to things like drum mics. From my experience anyway, the easiest thing I've had recording has probably been the human voice, and then it goes to bass guitar, electric guitar, and then drums probably being the most complex, and a lot of people get discouraged about drums. So the most important advice I can give to a beginner is don't give up. You will get better, you just have to put in the time. Like any instrument, learning how to record takes practice. And you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So I wish you the absolute best of luck in the pursuit of your recording career. I hope it works out, dude.
What about home studio on a budget? Not just a computer, DAW, and interface, let's say with real hardware for racks. Budget like $1,500, greats from Germany, thick Deech.
Well, $1,500 unfortunately is not gonna be anywhere nearly enough for a complete system, including rack gear. You're gonna wanna double or triple that. No, I'm not joking. There is some pretty reasonably priced rack gear, but there's no way you're gonna be able to put together a whole system for under $1,500. That's just being unrealistic. You still need to buy monitors, you still need a computer, all that stuff. You can get some amazing free software out there. I've done a couple lists on that. And if you look at some of my playlists, you can see the top 10 free plugins for audio recording, metal, that kind of stuff, and they're absolutely great. If you want to get some awesome rack gear for dirt cheap, you can check out my review on the Art Pro VLA2 tube compressor. That thing's great. Or the FMR really nice compressor, which is like, you know, a third rack space compressor, and it's really, really awesome. As for budget preamps, I still need to check a few out. I'm still kind of in the market for a few different things there. Other compressors, I need to check out the Clark Technique stuff. I think their 1176 clone goes for about $400. I definitely want to get one on the show and shoot it against the real deal Universal Audio back there. You know, of course, there's the stuff from Warm. They're about $600 for 1176. I'm not sure about their preamps, haven't tried them out yet. And then there's the Stam stuff. I know Stam's having a bit of difficulty right now with production because of all the shit going down in Chile where they're based. So hopefully that stuff gets sorted out and they can get back to making awesome rack gear. Trick is, you know, it's like anything, you know, you can get your entry level stuff. It's going to get you somewhere. Recording equipment is a lot like guitars. You know, you're going to get your entry level stuff and that'll get you started on a bare bones kind of way. But you know, the prices go up the more you want to do with it. So just keep that in mind. So you want some killer gear, you can absolutely get some for not a whole lot of money, but it's not gonna be for under $1,500. So save your pennies.
Hey Glenn, what's the absolute cheapest guitar you've ever recorded that actually sounded okay in the end? Donkey.
I think my green Legator 7-string, I think that was about a $300 guitar, and that thing just sounded fantastic. You know, I sat down with my good buddy Hoogie, who is guitar tech for Lamb of God, and he's now like bass tech for Shinedown, and we kind of went over the guitar. We're very, very impressed for what they were offering for how little. It sounded great, it stayed in tune, you know, it was killer. I even upgraded the pickups with some Fishman Fluence and upgraded the tuners, and you know, that guitar is just fantastic, and it's been on my wall for a couple of years now, and it's not going anywhere. Now, I've heard some controversial stuff about Legator, but I have never run into a single problem with any of their instruments. Everything they've sent me has always been really killer. So your mileage may vary. Proceed with caution, but definitely worth taking a look at. Harley Benton's actually got some great stuff too. I think they've got a 7-string and an 8-string. They're both very affordable. You can check them out on the Thomann website. Every Harley Benton guitar I've ever played has just been fucking great. I don't know how the hell they managed to do that stuff so cheap.
Hey Glenn, any recommended brands for general use stands or overhead stands that can support heavy mics like a pair of Coles? I've been looking at K&M for those categories, but they seem like an obvious choice, and I want to know if there's an industry secret or something. P.S. Fuck you from Scotland, formerly from Ireland.
I did a video a couple of years back on mic stands from Tama. You know, they make all that super awesome heavy duty drum hardware, and somebody got an idea, well, maybe we should be taking some of this metal and making some mic stands out of it. And they sent me a bunch, and I've got those all over Spectre, and they are absolutely fucking fantastic and not super duper expensive. They've got a couple of different lines, like they've got their super heavy duty ones, which are absolutely great. Some other brands that I'm a fan of include Latch Lake. I've got one of those at Spectre, not the cheapest, but damn are they heavy duty. And of course, Triad Orbit and their intermodular system, and that shit is all over Spectre as well. Their stuff is just unbeatable as far as I'm concerned. Not the cheapest option by far, but that stuff will definitely last you a lifetime. Once again, buy nice or buy twice. And now it's time for
the Butthurt of the week. Killian, don't change your strings. In a video a couple of years ago, Glenn demonstrates how old strings sound so much better, whilst attempting to prove the opposite. But the results are obvious. Hear for yourself. I think it's called new strings versus old strings, unless it's been taken down.
Well, Killian, what 19 before fails to disclose to everybody here is that he's actually an escaped mental patient. And yes, the video is still online. You can go verify that for yourself. I think the general consensus was that, yes, indeed, new strings sound better. So I'd like to say this to 19 before on a personal note. Dude, thank you so much for watching the show so closely during your journey to personal recovery. I hope you get well soon.
Would you use Drumatom 2 for bleed? Obviously, better to get the sound nearest for tracking, but would you like to know your opinion? By the way, I agree with other folks. This is another level. Really want more of this sort of thing, dude.
You're referring to the how to record heavy drums video I did a couple weeks back with Bruno Valverde from Angra, and we were talking about snare placement. We're using an Earthworks mic instead of an SM57 on the snare. We're just showing various techniques and how you can control that hi-hat bleed. Yes, Drumatom is amazing. I have the version 1 software. I haven't tried out version 2. I was talking with a programmer there a couple years ago at NAMM. Maybe I should look him up and see if we can do a demo there on that and see what's improved. I mean, like, Drumatom for me has always been kind of a last resort because it's just, there's a lot of work involved to getting it to work because you got to run files through a process, and it's a whole thing. And apparently he was working on real-time stuff, so hopefully Drumatom 2 is doing real-time. I really want to check that out. In fact, as soon as I get this video done, I'm going to email the dude and see if we can make that happen. Now, when I do viewers' comments, I usually batch 2 or 3 episodes at a time so I can concentrate on doing other things. And I'm going to be doing a batch of drum tutorials, and one of them is going to be a follow-up on that video I did with Bruno, where I'm going to take a look at some ways we can use software to control hi-hat bleed as well. So if that hasn't aired yet, it will be coming very, very soon. Yeah, I want to do more tutorials. Maybe we're going to call them Tutorial Tuesdays or something like that and just kind of do a weekly thing. But again, all that stuff relies on your feedback. So if you've got something you'd like to learn about, recording or mixing, that kind of thing, leave a suggestion below because I want to hear from you guys because I want to make the videos you guys want to see.
I am using Overloud TH-U and all the presets are clipping. I tried adjusting the input level as suggested, but I cannot figure out how to do that. I don't see button or slider anywhere. All I see is level button, but all that does is open up dialog window with instructions. I really hope you'll have the time and will help me figure this out. Sound quality is really bad. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, first and foremost, I recommend hitting up Overloud's tech support because I am not Overloud's tech support. I can do more general recording things, you know, about how to place mics and how to EQ and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actual technical issues with software, it's best to hit up the manufacturers first. I don't work for them because that's somebody's job to answer those questions, and it's not my job. However, I would suggest maybe adjusting the input level on your sound card if you are getting clipping, because that sounds like where the issue is. Sounds like you're very much in the very beginning stages of learning how to record. Don't worry, dude. It gets easier as you go along.
No fucking giveaway clickbait in the title or TN, just pure and honest. Don't need this. Here you go, guys. Love it.
You're referencing the Hercules unbox I did a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I thought, it'd be kind of nice to give that stuff away. I think what I'm going to try and do for a lot of upcoming gear reviews, because I've got a ton of them coming up, is I'm going to do some included giveaways at the end. If I have more than one or I got something I don't need, that kind of shit, because I think that's kind of cool and I'd rather give back to you, the viewers and the community at large. So please watch my reviews. Even if that particular piece of gear doesn't quite interest you, there might be a freebie at the end. I'm not going to let you know in the title. You're going to have to watch the video. So stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed because that will really help.
Great demonstration, Glenn. But what happens when the song also had along with normal metal beats, blast beats, because it's not possible to play rim shots on blast beats at 200 BPM? What would you do then? Also, if you hit that hard as close to rim shots on the video, when the blast beats are going to come, they will disappear.
Well, if you've ever gone to see any of those bands live, guess what? When the songs are playing like that and then it gets to the blast beats, guess what happens to the snare drum? it disappears. It completely vanishes. I remember going to see some clients of mine, and the drummer was, a really big fan of Gravity Blast, just this like feathered touch way of playing super fast. So they'd be playing along, and then the snare drum would just vanish for 8 or 16 bars, and then it would come back into play. So all I'm doing is capturing what the drummer is really doing. You gotta ask yourself when it comes to recording stuff like that, what's the priority? What's the most important thing? And that is getting a good snare sound. So the mistake I've seen a lot of drummers do is hold back on the main snare shots so they can maybe get their blast beats a little bit louder by not playing the rim shots super fucking loud. Oh, but I gotta hear my blast beats. Well, you're kind of fucking the snare for the entire record that way. You gotta think, okay, well, the blast beats are a very small part. In this case, maybe what I might wanna do is something like this, where we record the bulk of the kit and then we do sample the kit at the end of the session, and I take samples of the varying snare hits and whatnot. So that way I might be able to augment that blast beat and bring it up a little bit with a little less hi-hat bleed. I'm not a huge fan of doing that, and I kind of do that as an absolute last resort. I'd rather work with the drummer on his blast beats and maybe figure out a different way of approaching it, like maybe punching in those parts and adjusting mic placement for those particular sections. There's all kinds of options to do without having to resort to samples. The trick is to experiment and find out what works.
You said the one cabinet you have back in Canada has 2 different speakers. That made me wonder if putting 4 different ones for recording purposes might allow for a larger tonal variety, or would it just bleed together? Just a thought.
I think it might be a little bit of both. You probably are going to get a much wider recording variety, but it probably will bleed a little bit, even if you close mic. So the question is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know. I've never tried a 4-speaker blend in a cabinet before. It might be cool, might be bullshit. Who knows? Maybe it's something we should try here. If I could get somebody to send me a blank cab, that's something I could probably figure out here and just see how cool that would be. Good suggestion, man. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Liking the fast-paced editing.
Yeah, you seem to be in the majority there. I gotta give a shout out to my editor, Isaac, and I still can't pronounce his fucking last name. The guy's an absolute machine. Been working with him for the last couple months, and I can't say enough good things about him. He's probably gonna go on to wind up, editing some massive Hollywood blockbuster at some point. But for the time being, he's editing for myself and for Trey Xavier, and he is an absolute monster at what he does, and I'm so happy to be working with him. Isaac, you fucking rule, dude.
You have experience with both Kiss Digital and Eve SC307. What would you recommend to get?
Whichever you can afford. I love the Eves. We've got the 307s here at Harmony. I've got the KS Digital 88s back at home, and they're fucking monstrous as well. I love both systems. Don't ask me to choose because I've got a lot of respect for both those companies. I think they're both amazing modern companies, and you certainly can't go wrong with either pick.
Glad I just listened to Inner Siege. They're fucking amazing. Thanks for doing this.
Oh yeah, you're referring to the You Sent Me Your Stuff series. Yeah, I'm checking out this ink blot band I'm wearing right now, but I'm more than happy to put your band shirts in the show, especially if I think the artwork looks cool. I got no idea what the fuck this says, but hey, it looks awesome. Looks like I'm some fucking death metal dude now. Yeah, right, whatever. Anyway, I'm glad you checked out Inner Siege, and that's kind of the whole point of that show is, maybe check out some of the bands that are getting listed in this show, and you might find something you really like. So hats off to Inner Siege. I guess apparently somebody really digs your music. Glad I could make that happen.
So lucky to have a drummer that can hit a drum consistently and on command. I'm constantly fighting lesser drummers that simply cannot hit a snare the same way 2 times in a row.
See viewers' comments there a couple weeks ago where I said, chances are your drummer's an idiot. Seriously though, I gotta give a shout out to Bruno Valverde. The guy is an absolute world-class master at drums. He's such a pleasure to work with in the studio. He's a total go-getter, easy to work with, and just technique beyond belief. I've been very fortunate to work with some great drummers in the studio over the last few years, most notably Jackson Ward and Cam Floyd. Those guys are absolute monsters in their own right as well. And you know what? That's what really makes it fun, is being able to work with some great musicians. I mean, I bitch and complain a lot because most of the sessions I have to do are just trying to make things work and happen and get through them. Every now and then you get to work with an artist though, and that makes it all worth it.
Glenn, for a sound guy, the volume goes up and down in this video. Maybe turn up the gains and use a compressor.
Oh, well, thanks for the suggestion there. Turns out my voice is really dynamic. See, I can go really quiet or really fucking loud. And, it's just the way how I do it. For the last few weeks, especially in that episode there, I was actually using 2 compressors, here and here. I was using an 1176 and an LA2A in series. So one kind of grabs the peaks, the other one's just kind of like a gentle crushing down of things, so to speak. And that seems to work out pretty well, but right now I'm actually using a software distressor from Universal Audio being recorded directly into my DAW, just kind of emulating what I would do back at Spectre. Distressor is my absolute favorite compressor ever, and the fact that we don't have a hardware one here at Harmony kind of sucks. And I really miss mine back at Spectre. Hopefully we can get one in here sooner or later. It'd be fucking awesome. Okay guys, this last question is gonna be slightly off topic, but hopefully it can be useful to a few of you, and it's kind of explaining what I've been going through over the last 2-3 months with my diet.
Glenn, can you tell us more about the keto diet with your intermittent fasting? I look it up in the internet, but all pops up is no carbs. I want to know more about the diet and what works. And obvious what you're doing works.
I'm going to do a full dedicated video on this in the near future, but basically I'd recommend checking out the Netflix film, The Magic Pill, and it kind of explains a lot of what's going on with keto and how it works with human physiology. It's kind of basically going back to a hunter-gatherer kind of diet, because agriculture has only existed for the last 10,000 years or so, and we've got about 10 million years of evolution that happened before that. And there's a reason why we have telescopic vision and incisors, is so we can hunt things down, kill them, and eat them. So basically for me anyway, the reason why it's been working is because I've completely cut out bread, beans, rice, and pasta. Giving up pasta sucked. And sugar, of course. I gave up sugar in January, and I'd recommend anybody who's doing keto kind of do it in 2 stages like I did, is give up added sugar first. That means no sugar in your coffee, cereal, any of that bullshit. Just give it up completely. And I kind of went through a 3-day withdrawal period with that. That really fucking sucked. But it made switching over to keto in August all that much easier. Because some people suffer from what's called the keto flu, and it's really just a withdrawal symptom from your system switching over and not getting carbohydrates and not getting sugar. So give up the sugar first, it'll make it a whole lot easier, and have a lot of Gatorade Zero on hand to keep your electrolytes balanced. You don't even know what electrolytes are! It's got the stuff plants need. So anyway, a few buddies of mine did it and kind of got me inspired to do it. My friend Richard Mazza, Al the Yeti Bones from Windsor, and another fan of the show, a guy named Jacob Hamilton Moore, who's lost like over 100 pounds in the last year. Dude, you are an inspiration to us all. So this is kind of what I've been doing. I've been kind of documenting the whole experience, and I'm going to be putting a video together I'm hoping by the end of next summer, just explaining where I started and where I wind up, all that kind of stuff. But so far, the benefits have been great. I can focus a lot easier, and I'm a lot calmer, which is really bizarre. It's found it much easier to keep my temper under control. And it's had other benefits. You know, skin clears up a little bit. My hair feels fucking amazing. It hasn't been this moisturized in years. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but it's definitely doing the trick. Going out for dinner can be kind of a pain in the ass at sometimes, you know, because every single plate you order in North America seems to come with fries or potatoes or rice or some bullshit that you really don't need. So the idea is order, if they've got like, it comes with a side salad or something like that, get a double salad and your protein. You should do fine. One of the absolute benefits of doing keto is for snacks, you can have fresh ricotta or fresh mozzarella, that kind of stuff, really nice cheeses or pickles. And coffee for me is coffee, heavy cream, and a little shot of stevia, and it is fucking amazing. So honestly, this is probably the easiest diet I've ever done in my life, and it's working. Right now, I am down 35 pounds. My starting weight was 312, and right now I am down to 277. I've got a very long way to go. My target weight is about 215 to 210, somewhere around there. That's what I weighed when I got out of college, and I'd really like to go back to that. But I'm down several pant sizes. I'm down 4 belt notches, and yeah, feeling much, much, much better, and I sleep great as well. So if you're kind of on the fence about keto, just get ready to commit. You are going to have to give up a few things that you love, notably, pasta and toast, that kind of shit. You don't fucking need it anyway. Your body will just do fine without it. And I know there's a lot of fear-mongering going along with the keto thing. Oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yes, because people on the keto diet are dropping dead left, right, and center. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your comments, questions, and support. You guys fucking rule. Make sure you watch some of my tutorials. Those are going to be happening Tuesdays or Wednesdays, something like that. And please, if you've got ideas for tutorials, hit me up. I want to make the videos you want to see. Until next time, have an amazing weekend, and let's make the best records we can.